My life has always been designed around the values of freedom and exploration.
I was trying to think of a good opening for this video. You know, if you watch a lot of motorcycle movies, the thing that they always say is, I love the freedom of the road, the freedom my bike gives me. And yeah, I totally feel the same way. I mean, being on a motorcycle is fantastic. You have this like amazing freedom feeling because you're like going down the highway at, you know, X number of miles an hour. You got the wind all around you and all that. So yes, but I didn't want to open my video with the cliche, I love the freedom of the road. So I was trying to think of like, what could I say that gives the same feeling but doesn't sound cliche. So that's why I added the exploration out, like free. I thought, well, okay, I wouldn't say freedom, but if I say freedom and exploration, then it doesn't sound so cliche. So I don't know if it works or not, but anyways, a really huge thank you to everyone who's watched my video so far. I'm actually really surprised at the response that I've gotten from it. Over like 100 or so comments on it, and 20,000 some odd views from now. So what I thought I'd do in this video though is I've had some people ask me about my route that I took. I guess maybe if you want to do the same route yourself, either on your motorcycle or in your car, you're wondering like what's a little bit more of the details of the route that I took. Because I mean, I didn't want to make this video that long. It's already about 26 minutes or something like that, 28 minutes, something like that. So I wanted to keep it short. So I didn't cover a lot of detail about each specific area because I went to a lot of different places. So what I thought I'd do in this video is just kind of give you a quick overview of the route that I took and give you some details about each area in case you wanted to do the same route yourself. Okay, so let's take a look at this map here. For those of you who don't know, I am in Victoria, which is right on this big ass island here. This island is a little bit confusing. This island is called Vancouver Island, but I don't live in Vancouver, I live in Victoria. So from Victoria, as you guys saw in the video, I take the ferry over to Vancouver. This ferry is interesting because the locals hate it. Locals love and hate this ferry. We love it because it keeps the riffraff from the mainland off the island, but we hate it when we have to travel to the mainland because it's a massive pain in the ass to deal with a ferry. If you're coming to Vancouver Island during the summer months, if you're coming in a car, make a reservation. If you're coming by motorcycle, you don't need to make a reservation. You can show up literally like 10 minutes before the ferry leaves and they just boot you to the front of the line and you get to go on. So being a motorcycle is fantastic on the ferry. Being a car, not so much. So I take the ferry over, go through Vancouver, and then head up on what's called the Sea to Sky Highway. Now the Sea to Sky Highway is kind of a famous highway. It's popular. A lot of locals like to take this highway up to Whistler. It's quite of a scenic route all the way up to Whistler. And if you're going to stop anywhere along the way, there's a few nice areas like Britannia Beach and Squamish and whatnot. There's a gondola that goes up to the top of Squamish. That you can kind of see the whole view. If you're into mountain biking, Squamish is a fantastic area for mountain biking. It's just really some of the best mountain biking around. So yeah, everyone rides the Sea to Sky, nice highway up to Whistler. Stop at Whistler, hang out in Whistler if you want. But for me, like I said, my goal was to keep going up and ride this highway here, this road here called Duffy Lake Road. And I guess there's a lake around here called Duffy Lake. I don't know where it is. I never thought about that actually. But yeah, somewhere around here there's probably a lake called the Duffy Lake. But this road here is called the Duffy Lake Road. And you turn off the highway here and it connects Pemberton, like I mentioned in the video, Pemberton to Lillooet up over here. This Duffy Lake Road is super fun. Actually, I've done it a number of times. It's a really great road for motorcyclists. The scenery is really great, and it's unfortunate that I wasn't able to show the whole thing in my video because I actually filmed the whole thing, but that road is really, really nice up there. So I went up to, that connected me to Lillooet, and my stay for the night, like I said, was in Merritt, BC. Where's Merritt? So Merritt is down over here like this. Small little town, like I said, there wasn't much for me to do there. I didn't have actually much to do in many of the places I stayed. I was just kind of rolling through. To be honest, like, see, this is the part of the problem I had with kind of editing this video too. I was like, how am I going to edit this video when it's like, it's just all footage of me riding my motorcycle? Because I didn't stop anywhere. And, some of these other videos I've seen that like, like what's the, maybe the long way around, or even like, what's the other one, that guy with the food, the parts unknown, or some of these other ones, they always stop in the town and they kind of look around and do all that kind of stuff. I didn't really have a lot of interest in the towns that I was stopping in, because I mean, I've been in these towns before. They're just small, tiny BC towns, Sure, they have their unique charms, but I wasn't really interested in visiting town. This trip really came about because of the roads. Because I got my motorcycle license last winter. So the whole I got it like in October, and then for like October all winter it was just rain, so I didn't really get a chance to ride very much. And every now and then when it kind of cleared up, I'd put on all my clothes and I'd go for a ride, but it was just really short around my area. So this trip was like, and then we had COVID, so then we got locked onto the island. The government for like prohibited us from leaving the island. So this trip was like the first trip where I could actually go on the road. So that's what I did. I took like, I want to go this road here because this is nice and twisty, and I want to go to this road here, and so I'm going to stay somewhere in the middle. So I didn't really stay, I didn't really look around too much these places I was staying in, because this trip for me was just about connecting, road A to road B. Your trip obviously might be a little bit different, but for me, that's why there's not a lot of footage of the area, the places that I was staying in. Okay, just so you know. Anyways, but yeah, that was Merritt. Merritt, like I said, the video's got a music festival. I don't know if they still run it or not. It was quite popular a while back. And then so yeah, I left Merritt, and then I went. My next stop was over here on the city of or village of Nakusp. And the reason why I went to Nakusp is because I wanted to stop off in Kelowna and see my old house right down here. So it was kind of a perfect way to go from Merritt to Nakusp and then stop off in Kelowna on the way. And it's actually really fun. Kelowna is a great place. Actually, the whole Okanagan, if you're thinking about coming here with a family in the summer, I recommend don't go to the island. I mean, the island's okay. Get out of the Vancouver mainland. Go up to the Okanagan. The Kootenays or the Okanagan, the interior of BC is fantastic. You've got the Okanagan Lake there, and lots of activities for families and all that in the interior. So it was really fun. Well, I wouldn't say it was fun. It was shocking to me to see how different Kelowna was. Because I was there 34 years ago. When I was there, the population was like less than 50,000 people. It was tiny. Now it's like 120,000. And one thing that was a little bit disappointing in Kelowna was seeing all like the condo development that's happened everywhere. This is rampant across BC. These generic condos are being built everywhere, and it's just sucking the soul out of the city. Like downtown Vancouver, this is exactly what happened to it. It's basically turned into like a little Hong Kong where you got like condos everywhere, and there's no soul, there's no character in the city anymore. So I was kind of a little bit disappointed to see my old hometown of Kelowna kind of turning into that. But at the same time, it's kind of fun to go back to your childhood and see your old childhood home. It's kind of nostalgic to see all that. And where I went to school and my friends' houses, and there's a lot of stuff actually I couldn't put in the video because of length. But I actually rode around Kelowna a little bit, and I went and saw some of my old friends' houses that I used to play at and all that. It was a lot of fun. I remember my buddy used to live here. I think there, Jason Olford, I think was his name. The girl I used to go to high school or elementary school, her dad was a pastor there. My high school used to be down there. This is the elementary school that I went to. And then I went up to Vernon, and then Highway 6 here. And then Highway 6, this was a total surprise. This was something I really didn't, this is one thing I really liked about the trip that really surprised me, was these unexpected roads that I didn't know were going to be great. I had a few list of roads that I knew I wanted to do, but when I came across a road that was fantastic that I wasn't expecting, that was a lot of fun. And that was Highway 6. From Kelowna all the way up here to Vernon, and even outside of Vernon a little bit, the traffic was really heavy. Maybe even outside of Lumbee area, the traffic was really heavy. And I was I'm a motorcyclist. We don't want traffic, right? So I was kind of a little bit disappointed, thinking, oh my God, we're gonna get stuck in this traffic the whole way up to Nakusp. But then the traffic disappeared. And the funny thing is, when I was coming out of Lumbee, around this area right here, I started to see a lot of motorcyclists coming the other way. Cruisers and guys on bikes and all that. And I remember thinking to myself, like, am I going the wrong way? Like, should I be going that way? Is there something better that way? Because I'm stuck in traffic and they're all coming this way. So I was like, what's going on? But then the road just totally opened up. Traffic disappeared. And Highway 6 was fantastic. I really liked it. You see that in the video where I say, like, I got to enjoy the something about Highway 6. Like, it was such a great road. I really, really liked that surprise that I had after all the traffic. So Highway 6 was great. I really liked it, coming all the way down here, all through these twisties, down to the, I believe this was called the Needles Ferry. Yeah, so the Needles Ferry there. Needles Ferry takes me across Arrow Lake. And then I rode up to the city or town of Nakusp. And that's where I stayed for the night in the town of Nakusp. And once again, like Nakusp is a great little village, town, whatever you call it. It's really small, but I mean, if you're a family and you're coming to BC and you want to get out of the city and you want to kind of enjoy a nice little quiet, remote area, go to Nakusp. There's a lake there. It's really nice. Hiking around the area. It's fantastic. Once again, I didn't have a lot of time to spend there because I just wanted to ride my motorcycle. But if you're coming there and you got a little bit more time, you want to spend some time in the interior, I definitely recommend Nakusp. So, from Nakusp, then the other road that everyone always told me, like when I was planning this trip, everyone's like, you got to do Highway 31A, you got to do Highway 31A. So this is Highway 31A here. So it worked out well because my next stop after that was in Canmore. Let me zoom out here and hopefully you don't get seasick from looking at this. So here is Nakusp. My next stop was in Canmore up here. So I got to do this Highway 31A and then come all the way down here and go up to Canmore. So that was a lot of fun. I was really looking forward to doing this Highway 31A because it's someone that a lot of people have mentioned it. And once again, Highway 31A is short, but also once again, another fun motorcycle road. You see in the video, if you're a motorcyclist, yeah, do it. To be honest, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be because everyone's like in BC, like, oh, you gotta do Highway 31A. It wasn't as nice as I thought. It was actually, the first part coming out of New Denver was quite twisty. I was like, wow, this is great. But then it kind of straightened out and I was like, So, yeah, do it if you want, not do it if you want. I felt like there was other roads that I enjoyed a little bit more than 31A. But it was kind of fun to ride that road there. The thing actually I didn't like about 31A that you don't see in the video is a lot of traffic on there. A lot of traffic, a lot of caravans, camper vans, whatever you call them, and not that many areas to pass. So that was a little bit frustrating. And in the summer, I can imagine it's only worse. So just keep that in mind. Because the town of Kaslo, apparently in the summertime, is really, really busy with motorcyclists. The place I stayed at, the Kaslo Motel, what a cute little bungalow this is, eh? Like, once again, if you're a family, you don't want to check into like a boring hotel, stay in a Kaslo Motel, like fun little bungalow that they got here. There wasn't motorcyclists there this time because of COVID, because the restrictions, we can't really travel that much. And so the border was still closed at the time, so no one from America could come in. So that's why it looks empty. But normally they told me in the summertime it'd be packed. So if you're a motorcycle crew coming up from the United States, for example, yeah, go to Kaslo, hang out there. There's a nice little bar, pub thingy there, and then do the Highway 31A. If you can avoid the traffic, yeah, it's actually a lot of fun, not that bad. If you're stuck behind a camper van, I hope you got some power to go around it. So I stayed in Kaslo for a couple days, and then, yeah, I decided to take a bit of a rest break on that day, and then that's where I decided to go up Mount Buchanan. Now, here's the deal with the Buchanan Lookout. Why I got lost is because I went on YouTube and I found this guy's channel. So I watched his whole video of him going up and down because I wanted to see if it's something that I could do or not. Because like I said, I got my motorcycle license last year. I don't have a lot of off-road riding experience. Last thing I want to do is like get into a situation where it's too steep or whatever and I can't get out of it. So I found this guy's video and I thought, great, I watched the whole video and I thought, okay, that looks doable, I can do that. And then in his video, he says this.
So is it this way or up that way? I think it might be that one.
So they go left. And so I kind of knew that in the back of my mind, but what I didn't pay attention to was where they went left. So as soon as I saw that fork in the road, I thought, oh, that must be it. That must be left. And then that's why I went left initially. And then, as you saw in the video, I went up one way and then that didn't turn out. There's all these ditches in the road.
I wonder if this is the right way. That's a pretty big ditch right there. Uh-oh, I don't feel comfortable with this. I can't, once my front tire touches that, I can't touch the ground. Shit. Wait, okay, made it. Oh, spun out.
So I came back and I went the other way, and then that didn't look like it was the right way. So then I just said, forget it. I go home, and then right when I got back down, I saw that stupid sign that said, I don't think I put this in the video. I think I might have edited it out. But all along the way, I was going the wrong way. I was wondering, like, why didn't Kaslo put signs up on the side of the highway? Like, if this is a tourist spot, why didn't they put signs up saying like 10 kilometers to the top, 9 kilometers to the top,
Not one to tell these people how to manage their tourism, but this is technically a logging road. So the logging companies don't care whether you come up here or not. I mean, they're not going to put signage up. It's none of their business. But the city of the village of Kaslo promotes this as a tourist destination. Therefore, it would make sense for them to post some signage saying, hey, you might want to go this way, or you might want to go that way.
And then when I saw the sign that shows me the right way and I go the right way, I do see signage that says 10 kilometers to the top.
A different road. And there's a sign right there. Yeah, okay. Everyone in Kaslo, you can call me a dumbass for saying that you should have signage when they actually have signage. And I'm an idiot and I didn't see it.
But yeah, I mean, it's a nice view from the top there. A lot of mosquitoes though. I don't know if you come up with your family or you're on tourist vacation, something like that, maybe different time of year, mosquitoes won't be too bad. But there's a lot of mosquitoes when I was there. So that scene of me like having a picnic, that was really quick because I just set up the camera, pretend I was eating casually, and then as soon as I was done, I was like swatting mosquitoes and I packed everything away. I was like, damn, these damn mosquitoes. But in regards to that road, I mean, yeah, I did on my 500 CBX. My CBX, let's face it, my bike is not a real off-road bike. It's more street and then marketed. It's street bike marketed as an off-road bike, right? Adventure bike. So if my bike can do it, any proper, dual sport off-road bike can do it. I don't think you can do it on a Harley, but who knows, depending on your skill level. In terms of your car, you might be able to take your rental car to the top. There were some parts where the road was quite rocky and quite steep and loose. If you're in a 4x4, like if you're in a truck, you have no problem at all. If you're in a rental car, front wheel drive rental car, it depends on your skill level. If you're a 4-wheel drive, yeah, you'll probably be okay. If the road is muddy at all, then you probably want to skip it. But if you're in the summer, it's bone dry, you're confident with your driver skills, you take it easy, I think almost any car can get to the top there. So yeah, but just make sure that you go right at that sign instead of going left. So yeah, that was actually really fun. I enjoyed that trip up there. And then the next day I rode down. So here's the deal, is I didn't really know, since this is my first road trip, I didn't really know how far I could go in one day. I had no idea. I was like, I don't know how many, like you see these iron butt guys do like 1,000 miles in one day. And I was like, I don't think I can do 1,000 miles. That seems like a long time to sit on a bike. So I wasn't sure if I could do 300, if I could do 500. I had no idea. So here I had like to go from Kaslo, which is here, up to Canmore, which is here. And that was pretty far, so I didn't know if I could do that all in one day. So I decided to stop over in Pincher Creek here, which is just a little tiny, there's literally nothing here. It's just a hotel, and just to kind of break up my day. So from Kaslo, I roll all the way down to Pincher Creek, and then the next day I went up to Canmore. And then this Highway 3A, once again, this is one of those surprise highways that totally surprised me. I didn't know Highway 3A, and I was like, wow, this is a great highway. It's like freshly paved. It's really nice and smooth. You have the lake on one side. I saw that deer. Is that a deer? I saw that deer there and all that, but it's just like such a nice, easy, fun ride, highway. I was like, this is great. Like, I just love finding these like unexpected highways, roads that were really, really fun to ride. So Highway 3A, highly recommended, from Kaslo down to, I guess it'd be Creston, BC, or that area. So for me, so I went all the way down here and I ended up in Pincher Creek and ended up at the hotel in Pincher Creek. And the hotel is, a lot of people ask me like, why I don't camp and on my motorcycle trips. A lot of motorcyclists like to camp, right? And I'm just saying right now, I'm not a camper at all. I don't like it. I don't like mosquitoes. I don't like insects. I don't like taking a crap in the woods. I don't like showering in some stinky weirdo shower. I don't like sleeping in the clothes that I had all day in. For me, part of the fun of the trip is the hotel, because I don't know what the hotel is going to be like. I book it online. You don't know, is it going to be crap? Is it going to be great or not? I like the discovery of the hotel. So part of the fun of me is the hotel. So I love staying in hotels. It doesn't matter if it's a nice hotel or not a great hotel. I just like the experience of staying in a hotel. So you're probably never going to see me camp if you keep watching, if I keep making more videos, if I keep riding my bike. I may try it once, but I can pretty much sure I'll probably stick to hotels. But this Pincher Creek hotel is a perfect example. Like, I thought this was just a run-of-the-mill, side of the highway type of motel, but the room turned out to be really nice. Like, it's really short in the video because, once again, for length I had to cut a lot of stuff out. But this hotel was fantastic. I loved it. I could have stayed there for a couple of days. So, and they had a Boston pizza right beside it. I love Boston pizza. Their jambalaya pasta is so good. I love it. So I had like one of my favorite meals of the whole trip in this hotel room. It was such a nice, relaxing hotel. So yeah, if you're traveling through Pincher Creek, whatever the name of this hotel is, I'll put it on the screen, like check out this hotel. But for me, it was just an overnight stay, and it didn't add anything to the video. So that's why I just like kind of popped in there. And then the next day I rode up to Canmore early in the morning to visit my friend and go shoot the photos. So from Canmore, from Pincher Creek, rode up to Canmore here. Actually, this is not correct. I think what I did was I took this Highway 40. Was it closed now? Oh, I guess maybe it's closed. Oh, it's closed. Yeah, I took this Highway 40 here because someone recommended take this Highway 40, which is a little bit more scenic than Highway 22. But it's only open in the summer. Let me see if it says here. Yeah, closed December to June. So actually that was a nice route because this climbs over a mountain pass here. And so I turned off here, went Highway 40, and then ended up in Canmore. And then in Canmore, like I said, I wanted to kind of stop and then take some photos of the area. And one of the things that I've done many times when I travel is hire a photographer to show me around, because I like taking photos. I'm not the best photographer, but I enjoy it. But what I don't like is like walking around the city trying to find the photos. I'm really jealous of those photographers who can just like walk around the city and like take like National Geographic level photos. I'm like, how do you do that? Like for me, I need a photographer to be like, this is the best spot to take a photo. This is the best spot to take a photo. Then I can take a photo. So I did that when I went to Europe a few years ago. When I went around Paris, I hired Elena, a fantastic photographer. And then we went out and she showed me the city. And I really like this because it's a fun way to see the city. Instead of just randomly walking around getting lost going, you know, where am I? There's the Eiffel Tower. Like, then what? She showed me like these different areas. We got to take photos, and then it's just to me, it's such a fantastic way to see an area. So in Banff, I did the same thing. I hired Martina to show me Banff area, and we went and she showed me these different areas we could take some photos. And the scene of the waterfall is really fantastic, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's just so iconic. Got this big waterfall in front of you. I don't think it kind of came across as well in the video when I looked at it later. Like, trying to think of how I can maybe film that better next time. I think what it is that when you're there, you hear the sound of the waterfall and the spray kind of hitting your face. It's kind of more impactful than in the video. You're just kind of like, well, it's a bunch of water falling off a mountain. So I don't think it was as good in the video as I wanted it to be, but it was really great to kind of see all that kind of up close, you know. So, you know, if you're in Jasper, give her a shout and, you know, have her show you around or just walk around. But there was a lot of other areas that we went to too that, once again, because of time, I had to cut a lot out. You know, I have over 1,000 clips, over 2 terabytes of data. Like I shot a lot. And unfortunately, I didn't want to make this like an hour-long documentary because I didn't think anybody would watch an hour-long video of me riding my motorcycle. So I had to cut a lot of it out. Unfortunately, you're only kind of seeing like little tiny glimpses of the area that I visited. But she showed me all these different areas that, you know, popular photographers and all that. So it was really a fun experience to be able to see all that. So I highly recommend it if you're a photographer. Unfortunately, I don't remember any of the areas that she told us, but if you look her up, I'm sure she'll be able to show you. So yeah, from there, then I took this, from there, so what's going on here? So yeah, a little bit of a detour. It kind of doesn't look like it in the video. It kind of looks like I'm just going straight here, but actually I went to the town of Invermere. And once again, in Invermere, I wanted to go off-road riding again because my buddy runs this, you know, small guiding business, and I just thought, okay, I got to do the adventure because my bike's an adventure bike. I don't want to be the Starbucks bike. So then we went on the off-road, and this was probably a little bit beyond the capabilities of me and maybe even my bike, because my bike had road tires on it and I felt the suspension bottom out a few times. I probably should have taken the side cases off and lightened my bike a little bit. But I think the limiting factor on my bike for off-road use is the suspension. I think it's pretty soft. So anyways, and then you see like I kind of crashed at the top. And what actually happened is, as I came over the crest of that, the bottom of my bike it bottomed out, and then it kind of stopped, and then that's why I fell over. So it's not my fault, it's Honda's fault. But yeah, then we kept going and gonna go up into the glaciers and all that. And really amazing to to see kind of that nature, be out there so quickly. And that's actually why I bought this adventure bike, is because I really like the idea of being able to go on road and off road. Like I can go on the highway, but then if I want to, I can go up into this area where there's all these glaciers and mountain and completely remote and no one else around. You know, the funny thing is, I remember that I was filming that thinking, wow, this is really great. There's like no one else here. It's so remote. And then literally behind me, you know, it's not in the video, but behind me, there's this caravan of Jeeps that drove past. I was like, what the hell is this? Like a traffic jam? All these off-road guys in their Jeeps were going past me, like 10 of them. I was like, what the hell? Like I thought I was in the remote area. Anyways, so yeah, if depending on which direction you look, it's remote or not remote. But yeah, that was a really fun experience. I like being able to get out there, and it makes me want to kind of either get a better, like a more off-road capable bike, and improve my off-road capability, riding capabilities, because I'm really scared of riding my bike off-road. I don't know why. I've actually thought about it a few times. Like some of the areas we're coming down, I don't know, it's so strange because I did a lot of mountain biking. You know, you saw the clip of me in Whistler. I've done a lot of mountain biking in the last few years. Going down that same area, if I was on my mountain bike, I'd just be hauling ass down there. And on a mountain bike, I'm not wearing all this gear. I'm just wearing a single helmet, right? But I'd be just hauling ass. On my motorcycle, I'm so scared. I'm just creeping down. And I think it's just because the motorcycle weighs more. I think I'm worried that if I crash it, you know, if I crash my mountain bike, I got a 30-pound bike hitting me. You know, if I crash my motorcycle, I got a 500-pound bike hitting me. So I think I'm worried about that. Not to mention the fact that if I crash my motorcycle, it's retardedly expensive, and also it could mean the end of my trip. Like if I bust a pannier or bust a wheel or whatever, that's pretty much the end of my trip. So I think maybe that was kind of it, but I really would like to get more confident in riding off-road, because I enjoy the dichotomy of the highway and the off-road. It's kind of fun. So anyways, yeah, from Invermere, then I went back on the highway and went up to Jasper. And once again, I didn't stay too long in Jasper, unfortunately, but Jasper is like this kind of mecca to the outdoors, obviously. And one of the things I actually wanted to do in Jasper, but I didn't have time to do it, was do some astrophotography. Because it turns out that Jasper, what do you call it? Is like is it called a dark zone? I don't know what it's called, dark zone or something like that, where there's like not a lot of artificial light, so you can really see the stars. And if you've never experienced this, where you're like out in the wilderness and there's no artificial light and you see the stars, I highly, highly, highly recommend you do it. I got to experience this when I was in Africa, and it was phenomenal. Like, it's just like, you go out in your backyard and you look at the sky, there's some stars. There's nothing. That's nothing compared to what you see when there's no artificial light. It's like a blanket of stars. Like I was like, wow, that's a lot of stars. Like it's just so many stars, more so than you can possibly even imagine if you've never seen that before. And then in Africa, I got to see the Milky Way galaxy, which is really the strip like right in the sky. I think we saw Mars. You can see this little red dot and all that. It was so amazing. And it made me also think like, oh my God, like, you know, as amazing as this is, those astronauts get to see it even better because they're not looking through the filter of the Earth's atmosphere. Like when you're in space, there's no atmosphere. So it's like crystal clear. You can see even more. So I can't even imagine what that's like. But if you get a chance to see that, I really recommend it. And apparently Jasper is dark zone or dark area or whatever it's called, you know. So there's an astronomy center, is that we called astronomy thingy, those round white things, you know, telescope or whatever they're called. And you can go there and you can shoot like astrophotography. And I suck at astrophotography. If you look at my video from when I went to Sweden, it really annoys me because all the stars are all blurry. They're not like that sharp, you know, starry thing that I wanted. So I'm not very good at that. But if you are good at that and you stop off in Jasper, yeah, take your astrophotography lenses, you know, maybe hire a guide or someone to go out in the forest, because apparently there's really good night photography in that area. So from Jasper, that was kind of the, like I said, that was kind of the end point. Oh, and then yeah, I got to see the horses, which were fun. And then yeah, so from Jasper, that was kind of the end point of my trip. So from there, I was heading to Prince Rupert, and I was actually a little bit of a time constraint to get to Prince Rupert, because the ferry from Prince Rupert to Port Hardy only runs 3 times a week. The ferry from Victoria to Vancouver runs every day, every hour. The ferry from Prince Rupert to Port Hardy only runs once a day and 3 times a week. So if you miss it, you got like 2 more days to wait until the next one. It doesn't even run on the weekends. Like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it doesn't run on the weekend at all. So I didn't want to miss that ferry and then end up being in Prince Rupert for a couple of days. So that's why it was a bit of a rush to get from there. So that's why I didn't stop much in Prince George and all that. So from Jasper, I rode all the way along Prince George here. From Jasper, I rode all the way to Prince George along this Highway 16 here. And I gotta tell you, this highway from Jasper, Prince George, it's pretty straight. It wasn't a lot of exciting things to do there. And that's why even in the video, I was like, how the heck am I gonna edit this to make this sound interesting at all? Because it's literally for hours, I'm just like this, like, it's like straight. I was like, oh, this is kind of boring. And then I stopped off in Prince George, stayed overnight, and the next day I continued on. So I didn't really have much to do in those 3 areas there. And then, so I had a couple of days stop in Prince Rupert. And what I actually wanted to do in Prince Rupert, but I couldn't really do it because of budget constraints, was I wanted to go see the grizzly bears. Because the Prince Rupert apparently is like a grizzly bear sanctuary around there. You can hire these guides to take you out and show you the grizzly bears. Unfortunately, most of those tours were not running because of COVID. And the ones that were running were crazy expensive, so I didn't get a chance to do that. So it was kind of disappointing, but I really wanted to go. As you know, as I saw in the video, like I went to Africa and I filmed the animals in Africa. So I thought, well, it'd be so great to go film some grizzly bears, but I wasn't able to do that. But if you arrive in Prince Rupert on a different time of the year and maybe COVID restrictions aren't in place, yeah, go check out the grizzly bear sanctuary, because apparently it's quite a nice trip. You go on this boat along the river and you basically see all the grizzly bears just eating salmon and whatever else grizzly bears do, you know. So yeah, I stayed in Prince Rupert for a couple of days while I waited for the ferry, and then I took the ferry from Prince Rupert to the top of the Vancouver Island, this place called Port Hardy. It's a long trip actually. See, I came down to here, Port Hardy. So from Prince Rupert to Port Hardy, it's like 500 kilometers from here to here. The ferry from Prince Rupert to Port Hardy is long. It's about, I think it's 12 hours or something like that. And normally it runs during the day. So they leave at like 7 o'clock in the morning. And this is the other thing is kind of annoying about this ferry is it leaves at 7 in the morning. So it means you have to be in Prince Rupert the night before, right? Because unless you really manage to luck out and get there early in the morning, but you usually have to get there the night before so you can catch the ferry first thing in the morning. And then it arrives in Port Hardy at 11 p.m. at night. And if you're on a motorcycle, you're not going to want to ride at night. So that means you have to spend another night in it's getting confusing, in Port Hardy. That means to go from Prince Rupert to Port Hardy takes like 3 days. That's kind of annoying, right? So that's normally runs during the day. And the reason why it runs during the day is because they want to allow people to see all the scenery in the inside passage. Apparently it's quite scenic. You can see whales and whatnot. So they want to try to do that for the guests. So I can understand that. And if you're in a car, if you ride in Port Hardy at 11 o'clock, who cares? You just keep driving, right? But a motorcycle, you're not going to want to drive on the highway 11 o'clock at night when it's totally dark out. So, but for me, they changed that because of, what was the reason? I can't remember what they gave us a reason, like a maintenance or something like that. So they had to rearrange the sailings. So mine actually left, I can't remember, sometime in the afternoon, and it was overnight, which actually worked out better for me because then I could, stay overnight on the ferry, and then I arrived in Port Hardy the next day, and then I could just continue riding. So for me, because it was overnight, I rented a cabin. Now you don't have to rent a cabin. You saw in the video, there's all those chairs everywhere. If you just got some light luggage or whatever, you can just hunker down on one of those chairs and sleep for 12 hours or whatever you want to do. So definitely don't need to rent a cabin if you don't want to. But for me, because it was overnight and I had all my motorcycle gear and all that, because you're not allowed to go down to the car deck once the ferry's booting along. So you gotta, take everything out of my bike, carry everything upstairs, and then put it in my room. And I'm not gonna leave it on that lounge chair and then go get food or something like that, because that come back is gonna be gone, right? So I rented a cabin. That way I could sleep overnight, get nice and refreshed, and then the next morning when I get up in Port Hardy, I'm all ready to ride. So we end up in Port Hardy, and I think I cut out the video, but it's actually pouring rain in Port Hardy when we landed. It was kind of funny, actually. Everybody stopped and put on their rain gear and all that. But yeah, then Port Hardy all the way down to Campbell River. And this is the part where I talk about is going off of Highway 19 and getting on Highway 19A. So this is Highway 19 here. this is the one that I recommend, Highway 19A. So just, take this road here, go to Royston, and then come all the way down. And Highway 19A, I made a mistake in the video. I say it goes to Victoria, but it doesn't go all the way to Victoria. It stops off in Parksville right here. See that? It comes back and joins 19 there. So it doesn't go all the way down. But you get to ride all the way along the coast here like that. And it is a much, much better scenic route than Highway 19. The main highway is boring. It's just a regular straight old highway. So get off the highway, go on Highway 19A. It's a nice little fun route along the coast there. Some nice little shops, so you can stop for lunch and whatnot if you want to do some shopping or whatever like that. Really, really much more scenic than the highway. It goes to Parksville, and then from Parksville you're back on the highway and then heading down into Victoria. So from Parksville, then basically you're all the way down into Victoria, and then just straight down Highway 1A, and then you end up back in Victoria. So that was my entire trip. I hope that gives you some information and insight if you want to do the trip yourself. I really recommend it. Well, actually, I was going to say, I really recommend the southern part of BC. If you're on a motorcycle, stick to the southern part of BC. Northern part, not as good as I thought. Alberta, if you're not into the twisties, Alberta's fine. If you're on a cruiser and you just like going straight on the highway and looking at the scenery, Alberta's great. If you're into something a little bit more twisty, Alberta is pretty straight. So I really like the southern part of BC, like the Kootenay area, around the cusp, Highway 3A. That whole area was fantastic. I definitely want to go back there and check out some more of those roads as well. So if you're in motorcycles, that's the area that I recommend you stick to. The northern part wasn't as good as I thought, and Alberta was kind of, it was okay. The scenery was okay, but the road wasn't as great. So hopefully that gives you some information about if you want to do your own trip. If you have any questions about my route, you want a more detail, just let me know, because like I said, I had to cut a lot out of the film, so there's a lot more areas a lot more kind of small areas that I visited that I had to take out of the film. So if you want if you want my insight into it, feel free to message me. And here's the thing. If I am planning another trip next summer, well, this summer, 2022, this summer, because it's January now, so this summer. And this summer, I want to go to Moab, Utah. Now, why do I want to go to Moab, Utah? Because here's the reason. When I went to Africa, that was fantastic. And then next year, I was trying to think where can I go that's totally different than Africa? I don't know why, but I got this weird not plan. I really like to go places that are totally opposite of each other. So I went to Africa and I thought, where can I go that's like the total opposite of Africa? I thought, I know, when if I go to the North Pole, Sweden? And this was around Christmas time, and I was trying to think and I was living in Japan at the time. And if you've ever been in Japan at Christmas time, I mean, it's not Christmas. Japanese take every single Christmas decoration down December 26th. They work on Christmas Day. To them, Christmas is nothing. It's just a Western holiday that they kind of pretend to enjoy. But everything comes down on the 26th, and it's just regular working day in Japan. It's like Tuesday or whatever it is, So I was in Japan at the time, and I really missed that kind of Christmas spirit. So I was trying to think where can I go that I get some Christmas spirit and be totally different than Africa? And so that's why I thought, I'll go to Sweden. And the funny thing is, I remember thinking okay, I'll stop in Stockholm. Is Stockholm, Sweden? Yeah, Stockholm, and walk around there and be all Christmassy. And I thought, well, Stockholm, Sweden, it's got to be Christmassy, right? It's got to have snow and Christmas and all that everywhere. Stockholm looked like Vancouver. It was just rainy. There was no snow everywhere, hardly any decorations. I was like, what? This is Sweden. So I was so surprised. But the best thing is, on that trip, I had to stop over in Moscow. And if you look at these scenes of Moscow, this is from my trip to Moscow, I swear Moscow has got to be the best Christmas city in the world. The whole city's all lit up. It's cold. They got snow. They have these Christmas lights all mounted on the street lights that look like champagne flutes. I mean, it was fantastic. I loved it. I was so surprised at that. I tell you, I've been to Moscow twice, once in the summer, once in the winter, and I love it. It's fantastic city. I highly recommend everyone go visit Moscow if you can. So yeah, I went into Moscow, and it was amazing. And then I went up to Sweden, and I hung out in the snow and looked at the aurora. So why am I telling you all this? Well, because for this summer, I want to go somewhere different. Here in Canada, we have lots of forest. We have lots of mountains and greenery, and that's our area up here. So I was trying to think of where can I go that's totally different than that? And at first I thought maybe riding down to like Baja, Mexico, and then along that area, but I was like, well, that's kind of far. I don't want to ride like there and then just ride back. I like doing kind of a loop where I get to see a variety of things. So I thought, well, I don't want to just ride to Baja and then ride back. And besides, mostly from here to California is going to be all highway anyways. So I thought, well, why don't I go to Moab, Utah? And then if you look at Moab, to someone from BC, Moab looked like it's on another planet, right? Like, look at this stuff. This is amazing. There's not a tree in sight. There's no greenery at all. It's completely brown. It's all rock. I mean, it's the total opposite of what we have here in BC. So I thought, there we go. I'm going to go to Moab. So here's the deal. My plan, let me show you actually my plan here, what I want to do. Okay, so here it is. This is what my idea is. I'm here in Victoria, right? And once again, I want to ride down Washington, through Oregon, maybe Nevada or maybe Idaho, I'm not sure. Make my way to Moab, drive around Moab, head into Colorado, head into Wyoming, head into Montana, and then head back into Canada and then go back home. So, if you have suggestions on routes to take in Washington, Oregon, let me see if I get the states right here, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana, and maybe Idaho, please let me know, because it was actually a little bit easier for me to plan my BC route because I just literally went on Google Maps and looked at all the roads that were not the main highway and just kind of like, okay, well, that looks like a nice road. And I'm really fortunate that I got a lot of motorcycle buddies up here who like, my friend Dave, who I kind of credit in the video, he's ridden like everywhere in BC. So he knows every single back road everywhere. So he's like, no, you go here to here, here, here. So he actually planned a lot of my route for me. So for this one, I'm kind of relying on, YouTube videos and Google blogs and whatnot to try to figure out a route. So I really want to try to avoid the interstate. So I want to try to avoid like interstate and stick to like backcountry roads. So if you have suggestions on routes to take in those states, that gets me down to Utah and then up through Moab and Wyoming and all that, please let me know. That'd be fantastic. So anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for everybody for watching like the other video. I really appreciate it. And hopefully this summer I'll be able to produce an even better video of my trip to Moab.